Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our afternoon edition of Big Brother 22 All-Stars live feed spoilers. This is a very important time in the game for a lot of people who just like silliness or like people being upset with things that happen in the game that are production related, because Zingbot has come in there.
Yes!
People have been insulted. Maybe there's a couple of people that are a little bit salty about it. Such is often the case when Zingbot enters the game.
I don't get it. You know it's just jokes.
It is. They always try to read, like, oh, what does this mean in terms of how America feels about me? And sometimes there's something there, not all the time. What we're gonna do is we'll save the actual Zing-related content till a little bit later in the video in case you want to be surprised by when the Zings happen on the air. We don't know all of them right now anyway, but we'll talk a little bit about Zingbot in relation to the game, the targets, strategy, all that stuff first. Before we do, if you guys do like this video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and if you want to support us more, check those links to the store and also our Patreon.
So for everyone that's been following our cupcakes, they were delicious. I'm just putting that out there. They were so good. You did a good job. Thank you.
The cupcake Instagram journey has been successful. We have made it through all of it. We have survived that much better than we survived Big Brother 22 so far, let's be honest here.
Okay, so let's do sort of just a little groundwork. We've got Kevin on the block. We've got Davon on the block. Tyler's got the veto. He's not going to be using it, and Davon is the target.
That seems to be where we are right now, pending. I mean, today is a day where maybe there will be some campaigning, maybe some interesting stuff could happen. The one thing, this isn't related to the Zings, but the one thing we should say from the start with Zingbot here is that I think a really big theory a lot of people had about this neighbor twist that's coming into the game.
Including us.
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot in the comments with everybody, that maybe Zingbot was going to be the neighbor. But it sounds like usually Zingbot's on the Wednesday show because Zingbot's related to the veto. So it is my opinion that I do not believe that Zingbot will be the neighbor, because then they would be using him for like back-to-back shows, and they never really do that.
Yeah, and Julie was kind of talking about that the neighbor was going to be revealed on Thursday, but if Zingbot is here on Wednesday, then it doesn't add up.
This further gives me hope that Dr. Will, you are welcome to come be the neighbor, come hang out. If not you, Brittany Haynes, she's kind of like the Zingbot in her own way, so I'm fine with that. Rachel, I know she's pregnant. Maybe it's only like a one-day job. Maybe she can do that.
Maybe we could have all three of them in there.
A big neighborly, like, Big Brother fan. Let's make this happen. We need nice things in the game at the moment. Let's be real here.
Yeah, I just want something that's going to shake up the game just a little bit. I was hoping it was going to be like this neighbor's house is going to have like all these amazing things in it, and things that might pull people to want to come over and leave the game, sort of like, look what is behind door number 1 or 2 or whatever, and just sort of see what can tempt people.
Didn't you say that Angela was going to be behind one of these doors for Tyler?
That's right, Tyler.
So
it's Angela.
And she's got her cookbook. You guys can
right.
go back and make recipes. So the thing with Memphis is, when we talked about the veto thing yesterday, he was like going full grump. Like he was totally in this, just like, why is this happening here? I wanted these people to throw it or whatever. He has since sort of calmed down about the idea of David not going this time.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't just put up David. I mean, I understand the idea of maybe he wanted to make his alliance happy for the time being and then do what he wants later. Maybe he didn't want David playing for it, even though David's won one thing. So, I mean, he missed his own shot. If he really wanted David out, he should have just put David up.
And credit to some of the other guys in the house. I mean, Tyler has had conversations with Memphis. I think Cody has done a little bit of selling here as well, where I think they've made Memphis sort of feel okay and comfortable with this. I mean, maybe Memphis really isn't okay. Maybe he's just like under his breath and he can't say anything.
What's he gonna do?
Yeah, he doesn't have the veto. He can't like rip it off of Tyler and be like, I'm playing the veto now.
No, and he doesn't have that kind of pull with his own alliance to get them to do anything, because Memphis has set it up that Memphis does whatever Memphis wants to do. So he hasn't really been a team player, and he can't expect the team to all come play for him now.
the part of this that I guess is kind of interesting, and we talked a little about this yesterday, is it's not a huge rift right now, but there are seemingly some lines being drawn in the committee a little bit. There are concerns over Nicole and Danny that Davon is potentially a number for the two of them. Danny tried too hard in this veto that she was supposed to throw.
Yeah, so Memphis is starting to feel, at least this is the way he's coming across, he is starting to feel like it's going to be okay if Davon goes home.
That's sort of the impression that I'm getting. That's something that he seems to be kind of okay with. I think he's also getting riled up a little bit by Christmas, by some other people that, okay, you know, we got to make sure that the next person who's evicted is also somebody outside the committee. Like, it's going to get weird if somebody within the committee. I feel personally like the committee plus Enzo, that's not going to be the final 7. I think whoever stays this week and David, I think one of them is going to make it fairly far.
I think so too. I think that we're at the point now, if David and Kevin are going to stay, I think the committee plus Enzo are going to start looking at the two of them as someone to bring along to the end, because they're both beatable at this point. They could go on some big run, but as of right now, they're both beatable. And there are so many cracks in the committee that I could see people starting to just take their shots now. It's not going to be just the 7 of them going.
I think one of the things that's really important sometimes is like the makeup of the jury, and the first person on the jury often kind of works to set some of the tone. I don't get the sense that Ian is going to be a particularly bitter juror at all based on how he acted at the time of his interview with Julie. Obviously, he doesn't know about Memphis making fun of his autism or any of that. That would probably change things a little bit, but as it stands, I don't think Ian is going to be inclined to want to vote for, kind of like you said, a David or a Kevin who have just been outside of the game and have not been playing well.
No, Ian's going to want to vote for who played the best game. So if they bring the two of them, either one of them, to the end, this is someone, they could beat them.
Unless David suddenly becomes Super David that we've all been waiting for. He wins like 3 HOHs, like 2 or 3 vetoes. OTEV is still coming. Maybe we're going to have your favorite, the slip and slide. I think David could do really well at that. He's in good shape. Hopefully he's got some good endurance going on there.
Yeah, I don't think David's winning this game.
Hey, these are our videos. We can say whatever we want in them. It is not always reality.
It is complete fiction.
The truth of the matter is, like, I'm getting more and more towards sort of Team Enzo as time goes here. It's like, personally, like, I know. I'll be pulled right in here because I love Davon on a personal level, but she's made a ton of mistakes, and the thing with her and David, I don't know what they're going to show of it on the show tonight, but all of that has been very, very messy and rough, and David probably doesn't have that much of a chance, and Enzo's just played a really good game, yo. I had to do it.
Enzo has played a great game, and while at first I wasn't actually rooting for him when I picked him as my preseason winner pick, I just thought he played a really good game before, and I thought if he did some of the same things and had that same attitude, he would go far again, and he's playing a really good game. I would be really satisfied if he won.
Let's get inside Cody's head now, because this pertains to Enzo. So I wish that I knew how to, like, create virtual images out of thin air here, because... Yep. Cody, there's like a pyramid of like loyalty for Cody that we're sort of figuring out here. So Cody tells Nicole about his version of the version of the wise guys that he is in.
Yep.
Of himself, Memphis, Enzo. So, this tells us that, okay, Nicole is like right here in like the middle of the pyramid. She is trusted by Cody more than Memphis, who is down here, which I don't think Cody cares that much about Memphis.
I don't think Cody really cares about Memphis at all. I think Cody is a team player, and Memphis has not been twice.
And Cody's also probably just grumpy because he's a have-not, and he's also been left out of the initial plan by Memphis, and he doesn't understand why.
Yeah, but I think that Cody really has Enzo's back.
Yeah, I think Enzo was at the top of the pyramid, and then Nicole's like right under this because... Yeah. Nicole has also sort of asked Cody about, okay, should we let Enzo in more on the committee, not realizing that Cody has already told Enzo about a lot of committee stuff in the past, and That is, and this is why Nicole and Danny, as much as they've sort of hanging around with this committee,
Yep.
this Blob Alliance, it's going to be a very bad ending for the two of them because I think they both feel like Cody is sort of for sure with them, and I think there are limitations to that.
Yeah, that's why I do feel like they maybe missed their shot by getting rid of Ian and not moving over to this other side when they had the chance to, because they are pretty, especially Danny, she's on the bottom of this.
It's another reminder. Playing Big Brother sometimes can be risky, but if you want to actually not only just be entertaining, which we appreciate, but actually want to try to win the game, hovering around the same alliance all season is not the way to do it, because guess what? You guys don't get to split the money 6 ways or 7 ways if you want to give Enzo like a tiny morsel of it.
No, there is a time that you need to cut your alliance to get to the end, because nobody's beating Cody except maybe Enzo, and Nicole and Danny should know where they're standing by now.
Okay, let's do it. Let's talk in Zingbot here. Let's get into some Zingbot stuff.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so this is really the only zing that I've kind of gotten down pretty much for sure that he gave to Tyler. What do you call someone who says getting the girl is way better than getting the 500,000? A liar! Zing! Like, I think that's basically what he said to Tyler. So that's pretty funny, actually. Like, that's better than the zing he gave him last time about him being, like, greasy or whatever he said about Tyler.
Yeah, it was something like that. No, this one was better.
The thing about Zingbot, and this is important to remember, he's really only typically great with like 2 or 3 zings, and the rest of them are usually just not really that good. It's just that we all have such nostalgia for Zingbot that we just try to forget the ones that are kind of boring, and we sort of fixate on the time he called Sam crazy, or like some of the other, or when Kathy Griffin like came in and like burned Zach to his face.
That was fun.
Like there's a few good ones, but there's some ones that are real kind of just like misses this time. Like he apparently like called Danny old. I looked it up. Like, I'm the same age as Danny. I do not want to believe I'm old, Zingbot.
Well, that tells me that Danny is probably, and she is, playing a game that's pretty sort of just not anything is happening with her to really poke fun at.
Apparently, Zingbot kind of came at Christmas for being, like, cold and, like, inducing stress and being sort of annoying. And the first Zingbot that Zingbot gave Christmas, this was like a top tier zing.
Yeah.
It was like the 12 Days of Christmas.
Yes.
Unless it's really good on the show, I'm sorry, Zingbot, this is not on that level.
I'm gonna wait to hear it from Zingbot before I will make any sort of decisions about that.
Okay.
She is cold and stress inducing, so there you go.
Cody's I'm gonna give Zingbot some suggestions here with the Cody
here
zing.
We go.
So Kid Stokes zing was apparently about that that Cody's not smart. Which, by the way, I think Cody's actually pretty smart.
I do too.
I think he's maybe not like book smart, but I think Cody's pretty smart in some other realms. But I've got a good one here, Zingbot. You can have this one.
Okay, here we go.
Cody, what is more boring than your Big Brother 22 game? Your Big Brother 16 game. Zing! Like, okay, by the way, if you've got good zings, don't make them too nasty or personal, but just like good, funny zing. Give us your zings for these people in the comments.
Yes.
That one's better than the Cody one they gave. Making fun of Nicole's voice, a little obvious.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I expected that's where that was gonna go, and that she cries a lot.
Guess what, though? Nicole isn't happy about the zing.
Shocking! I mean, listen, guys, you gotta just take it for what it is.
Yeah, like, take the zing, be okay with the zing, move on. I mean, nothing will ever compare to Austin's relationship being destroyed by Zingbot in Big Brother 17.
I get that sometimes the zings are a little bit mean, and
sometimes they're needed. Let's be honest here. Zingbot is the vessel in which we are able to take out our frustration on the season.
It's true. The thing is that, I mean, they know that it's coming, and they know people are going to be watching. Just take it for what it is. Take it as a joke and move on, and we will all be happy with that.
The one thing that was kind of interesting, because Zingbot also always does have like that one thing that's kind of about the game that he probably shouldn't be giving away, like saying that Donnie is just like completely sucks at the social game, and he like said Vanessa was masterful, and then like tried to correct it. Apparently, Zingbot like tried to roast everyone for like the house votes and like all this other stuff. Zingbot is trying to send you guys a message that you guys are dull and you need to do something a little bit more fun.
I'm so happy Zingbot is here.
I
just didn't know if we were gonna get him or not, and I still don't really know like if he was in the house or not. I mean, I just wasn't sure. I'm
happy Zingbot is there. We all need a little bit of Zingbot in our lives.
I hope he's wearing a mask. I want to see that so bad. Zingbot come in with a mask.
I want to see him with like all the gear on. I want him to have like the visor, the mask.
Yes!
Make sure you were perfectly sanitary, Zingbot.
All your PPE gear. I want to see it.
None of your jokes are going to be sanitary, so something else needs to be.
Zing.
There you go. This is going to be hopefully a fun show on Wednesday. It won't make up for the fact that Davon's probably going to be evicted unless something actually really interesting happens over the next little while. But let us know what you think about Zingbot returning now, what this means potentially for the neighbor. Give us your sample zings in the comments, and if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, support us further, check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.